What if what we criticize about ourselves is actually intelligence within us? I remember when I was really young, quite young, middle school ages, up into high school ages, I was oftentimes very tired. And not only like, not like a tired, like, hormonally, a lot of things are changing at that time period. It was like a different kind of tired where there was like no life inside me. And of course, I did not have the responsibilities that I have now. It's very different. But that point in my life, it definitely followed me a long time, where I didn't understand it, and I just tried to manage it and continue to go to school, go to college, get the science degree, get the doctorate, all these things. But I would get so like just drained, so drained. And yes, there was times that I would just push through. I know all of us have done that, push through exhaustion of sorts. It wasn't always like exhaustion, like a physical exhaustion. It was like a mental exhaustion, an isolation that I wanted to go towards. And I just felt like, oh, no one else does this. No one else feels this way. Everyone else has this energy that I just don't have, and that I can't even fight through. When it came to physical exhaustion, I was an athlete. I grew up as an athlete, and I knew how to work hard in my body, like, running and working on the ranch and, things like that. Like I could physically make myself do stuff. But when it came to other things like studying for an exam or putting together like a presentation or things of that nature, where it was a little bit unclear, uncertain, or that I had to sit and do something like the actual like sitting, physical sitting and doing the work, it was so easy for me to just seriously fall asleep. Like I would just fall asleep. And I didn't understand it. Didn't make sense to me at the time. I didn't know what I know now of what my body was actually doing and what my system was recognizing as a big stressor. And here's the deal, is we all have different things that stress us out. Sure. Like, some of us might have financial stuff. Some of us might have worthiness issues. Some of us might have, kids and schedules and like a lot of different things that stress our system out. And we can physically work through the exhaustion, but when it's time to like process it or something of long process what's going on in our life, and it takes some silence and quiet. This is oftentimes why people have trouble meditating, is because your body just crashes and goes and checks out. It just checks out. It's like peace, right? So that is just one example. I want to say that I criticized myself about that. I felt lazy. I felt unproductive. I felt that there was no way that I could do it. So I felt kind of lonely. I didn't think anyone else was like me. There was a lot of things a lot of emotions tied to this feeling that I used to have. And I'm not saying my body never gets overstimulated anymore. It still does. It still does. It's still something that I'm working through. I'm glad that I can get over aroused sometimes, and I'm glad that I can come back to balance. I'm glad that I can be under aroused, in a more of a parasympathetic state at times, and then I can come back to balance, right? But I now understand that flow. But when I was younger, gosh, I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. It didn't make sense to me. And I felt kind of lost, right? And I didn't know that my life was actually making that happen. What my environment was going on in my environment was making my body go there. I wasn't doing active rest. I didn't really know what that was. I didn't intentionally. Of course, you do things like, meet up with friends, and which, might give you some energy, or you make phone calls to your loved ones, or I go for a walk or something. It was never that intention per se was to balance my nervous system. Like I didn't know what that necessarily meant. I knew through college that I was getting adjusted, balancing my nervous system. I knew my environment mattered. I knew my health mattered, but I didn't really understand the flow of it and how to work my environment, my lifestyle, around like making this criticism that I had on myself, how to let go of the criticism and actually just listen to what my body was wanting to do. Not necessarily that I need to go to sleep, but when I'm starting to feel those things come on, that I know that I'm dysregulated, and the things that work for me to become regulated again. And I talk a lot on this podcast. I talk all over my content all about this dysregulation, because honestly, you guys, I truly believe that if we can become so aware of how we tick, we start creating our own manuals to live our life. My manual looks different than your manual. My criticisms that I have on myself become awareness, and then I can start, shifting my manual or writing new policies or new direction in my manual for me to function at a high level in my life. And I hope that for you. That's what I do all this for. So I was listening, and this chiropractor who I'm very excited for, I get to interview here soon. And he often says, who is the greatest doctor in the world? And he's like, it's you. It's inside us. It is our intelligence within us that is the greatest doctor in the world. The fact of every person has this whole ecosystem of things going on within us that's, keeping our hormones on track, keeping our sleep cycles on track, keeping our digestion moving, keeping our thoughts processing in our brain, our nerve cells, like sending impulses to our organs, sending impulses to my big toe for balance, sending impulses back and forth, and then my big toe is sending an impulse back up to my brain, all of these like systems that are happening within our body that we aren't even aware of, that is freaking brilliance. That is a brilliance. That is intelligence within us. And, with our environment, supplying our environment with a sense of safety and also some stimuli, we obviously want to grow and get better, but we want to help our bodies move through that growth and that change, and allowing that change to happen instead of resisting it. So a lot of times, as we're doing something really big, I don't know, have you ever had a project or something that you're super excited for? Maybe I am the only one. I can be super excited for it, but my body resists the change. It's almost like sending me into like more of an anxiety feeling. I'm not talking diagnosed anxiety. This is like an anxious feeling, or excitement can feel like anxiousness or nervousness, right? So our whole body starts to shift, and being able to recognize that and not criticize it as something bad, but actually that something is going to change and it's going to be beautiful, and embracing that piece, embracing that change to come into our life. It's not like we don't intentionally sabotage it very often. I really don't think the intention is to sabotage what is coming for you. And I believe that we all have great things coming to us all the time. And we don't intentionally sabotage it, but I want my body to be ready for it and to accept the change that is about to happen around us, And in order to do that, I have to keep myself quite regulated. I really do. I can really sabotage something quickly without intending to sabotage it, but I can because my physical body doesn't want it. It's not accepting it. So if we can keep our system in like having tools, like just learning to breathe better, learning to use our eyes better, using movement, using safety in our house or in our workspace, or conversations that we can have that help bring our nervous system into this regulated state to actually accept the change. And also just giving yourself a lot of grace. Gosh, every day is a blessing that we get to wake up. And I know I can say that and everyone, knows that, right? But it's a blessing because here's one thing. It's like you can think, okay, I was feeling this way yesterday. I was acting this way yesterday. Take it as a lesson and learn from it. Start to pick apart your day to day, your minute to minute life a little bit and be aware of what's going on. And then you can start, I don't know, doing something about it. Maybe not everyone knows all the things that they can do, but start exploring. Start seeing, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to feel that exhausted anymore. What can I do? What can I be? Who can I be so that I'm not that person anymore? What can change in my life? Can I accept that change? Oftentimes I see people, and this is a big thing. This is body dysmorphia makes me think of this. And